What's something that he did that you really liked?
Well, we had peace with most countries. He wasn't bringing us all in these other wars, like with Ukraine. We wouldn't have had any involvement in that war at all.
If it were, but do you think that's because he's kind of close with Putin, or do you think it's because he wouldn't want
I
to?
think it's because he's more of a neutral president. He doesn't like starting drama with other countries and everything.
So you're saying Donald Trump tries to avoid drama?
Yes.
I am interested in Trump patrolling the neighborhoods better. Gun control is number one, and everyone shouldn't own a gun.
But don't you think that Trump is opposed to gun control?
No.
Hi, it's Alonzo Bodden with another Rebel HQ TYT video. Now listen, personally, I get tired of talking about MAGAs, but it was either talk about MAGAs or talk about Kanye, and I am really sick of talking about Kanye. So these MAGAs are explaining why they support Trump, and I think what happens, when you go to MAGA school, when you go to the cult initiation or whatever, they teach you to give the opposite answer to whatever you're asked, I guess. So when you say that Trump would keep us out of wars and Trump avoided drama with other countries, and the man says, oh, so Trump was anti-drama? Yeah, that's what he was, anti-drama. Now, the truth, no one had more drama than Donald Trump. Donald Trump had so much drama, he was kicked off Twitter. As for the woman with the gun control, I don't even know if she understood the question she was being asked. She just kind of rambled that not everyone should have guns. No, just militias. Just militias and crazy right-wing people, because that NRA money was flowing to Donald Trump.
My belief is if you can run this city or this country like a business, you can't fail. And he's a businessman. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't, like I said.
Okay, I'm going to do my thing again. He's a businessman who was bankrupted twice, though.
Yeah, but what that says to me is he's not afraid of failure. You got to, takes money to have money, I guess, type thing. Like, you got to establish, failures happen in life. Everybody knows that, right?
Then, of course, we had the old Trump is a businessman routine, which we've heard millions of times. And then, of course, when asked about the bankruptcy, it's like, well, you got to fail to succeed. And it takes money to make money, which absolutely made no sense in response to that question. And the only money Trump is taking to make money is the money that his father gave him in real estate and the money he fleeced the U.S. government from as president. That was his number one gig, ripping off the government. The latest one is a story coming about how much he's been charging and still charging the Secret Service to stay in hotels to guard him and his family, as much as $1,100 a night. But I guess that's just good business. Then, of course, we have the black MAGA supporter. And my favorite thing in that video was the friend who rolled his eyes and kind of stepped away and was like, I ain't going down with you. Oh, yeah, that man would be happy to go back to the 50s. Has he heard of the 50s? I mean, when the interviewer is explaining to you Jim Crow laws and segregation, and you're like, well, it wasn't so bad. See, we were all together. Yeah, we were all together in the back of the bus. Oh, fantastic.
Someone once asked Donald Trump about making America great, and he said back like in the 50s in the Eisenhower years, when, it was post-war, a lot of construction, highway bill. But in the 1950s, black Americans had to sit upstairs in a movie theater. Yeah, they couldn't sit in the same buses. The South had Jim Crow laws that the fighters and soldiers of the civil rights movement had to undo. So it wasn't great for everybody.
I mean, those were the least of our concerns at that time.
See, the problem here and the reason that these interviews, while sometimes funny, really don't do any good is you're not going to change anyone's mind who's a MAGA. There was the interview not too long ago where Ted Koppel was talking to Sean Hannity, and he said to Sean Hannity, you appeal to a group of people who value ideology over truth. And that is the greatest explanation for the MAGA Trump followers. They prefer ideology over truth, and they worship their idol. Go listen to the song Cult of Personality. I've quoted this song before by Living Color from the 90s. It's absolutely true. This is a cult of personality. There's a line in the song. I'll tell you 1 and 1 is 3. If Donald Trump said 1 and 1 is 3, he's a good businessman guy would love that. He'd probably invest more money in another Trump, I don't know, casino. Didn't do too well with those casinos though, did you, Don? It really doesn't matter to MAGAs. Anything you say, they will believe. Any question you ask, they will answer with the opposite nonsense.
It's a new day now.
It is, but he says make America great again, and then he says like in the 50s. And I'm saying America in the 50s, not so great for everybody, right?
I mean, that wouldn't seem like a bad thing to me. Going back, as long as we keep the peace, I wouldn't mind everybody just.
So if there was Jim Crow laws in the South, but there was peace and prosperity, you'd be okay with it?
Yeah, we just move away from those other states.
The black Trumper is a case unto himself because unlike Candace Owen or Kanye or Omarosa, this guy isn't even making any money. He can't even sell White Lives Matter t-shirts. No, this guy is just horribly uninformed. And then they tell him that learning about critical race theory or the 1619 Project is evil, so he doesn't even know his own history. The interviewer tried to explain to him, in the 50s, brother, things wouldn't have been good for you. There were Jim Crow laws. There was segregation. You weren't allowed to vote. He's like, well, it wouldn't be bad because we were all together. Yeah, we were all together, marching behind the bus, hoping to vote one day. I'd say wake up. But you know what? You're entitled to believe whatever you want, okay? As a friend of mine once said, freedom means free to be dumb. So I ain't worried about this brother. I can't help this brother. You want to support Trump? Go ahead. Listen, go vote for Herschel Walker and good luck to you. The problem is guys like you, there's too many of you. And that's why we're in the country we're in. And I'd say wake up, but they're not going to. So let's work on some people who are independent voters or the next generation and try to help them. MAGA morons, well, business is good. He's a good businessman. He got you guys to give him tens of millions of dollars to build a wall. How's that coming?